Hey guys, Matt with CJ Off-Road here. Now I've got Jesse from MBRP in the studio with us today, and we've got our brand new 2020 Gladiator up on the lift. He's got some exciting new products in front of us. Now Jesse, thanks for coming out. What am I looking at here on the table, and what are we going to be installing?
So this is actually our high clearance system for the Gladiator. This is our Pro Series, which is basically noting what material it's made out of. This is our best one. This is the 304 stainless steel. We actually offer it in a couple different materials, but this is the one that's our top of the line.
So this one's going to work with a 3.6 liter engine in the Gladiator. So pretty much any trim though, correct?
Correct.
All right, so this will work on sport all the way up through. We've got an Overland, so it should make it sound really nice too with that 3.6.
Correct, yeah.
Being that it is 304, what's the benefit of having that, especially somewhere where we live in Pennsylvania with all the salt and all that on the roads in the winter?
Yeah, so this is pretty impervious to rust or any sort of corrosion. So if you live in the Rust Belt, area or near the ocean, like Florida or down in Texas or something, like this is what you really want. If you're in the southern states where you don't really see any snow or any really salt on the roads, you can get away with our aluminized stuff. But this is really the best that we offer.
And this comes with everything we need here. I see all the nice clamps, the adapters, everything's gonna bolt right in and really get that exhaust nice and tucked up. I kind of took a look at the Gladiator and it hangs down pretty low. It's got a resonator, so this should clean it up really nicely. What do you say we go get installed?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, let's do it. So the first bolt that we have to remove is this front one that comes off of the front section of the pipe and holds on to the rear mid-pipe section. That's gonna be a 13mm socket up top. I'm gonna use a power ratchet to make it a little bit quicker. All you have to do is loosen this up and then it'll pop off the tab when we go to remove the exhaust, but that'll be later. Then there's gonna be two 13mm bolts that hold on the bracket onto the mid-pipe here. I'm gonna pull it off, that way we don't have to struggle pulling the exhaust hanger out of the post and all that through there, so just remove the bracket in itself. Okay, now what we'll do is remove the last two bolts that hold on the muffler section of the exhaust. You don't need to do the center section, just the rear and the front. And now we can pull the exhaust off. Okay guys, so the next step in this process would be to drop the spare tire, the tire shield, and then lower the bolt on the track bar in order to get this exhaust off and keep it in one piece. In our case, we're not going to be going back to stock anytime at all, so we're just going to go ahead and sawzall it right off to make it easier for us. But if you guys do want to keep this in case you ever want to go back to stock, make sure to drop the rear tire, drop the heat shield on that tire, and then just lower the lower bolt of the track bar, pull that off, and then it should slide all through for you, but we're just going to hack it up and get rid of it. Okay, now Jesse and I are under and we're going to install the MBRP exhaust, so he's going to start with that front section. Jesse, you want to tell him what you're doing?
Yeah, we're actually reusing the ball seal from the factory exhaust in our extension pipe.
So we're just going to slip that over, just the way the ball seal was in the beginning, and then set the extension pipe. And you said that that kind of faces upwards then too. There's a little bow in this section. You want that to go upwards?
That's correct, yeah. It actually makes it sweep up and kind of tuck into the frame as high as possible, so we have the maximum amount of ground clearance.
So we're just going to adjust that a little bit. Jesse's just making some final adjustments, and then the next step is going to be the muffler goes on there.
Yeah, the muffler goes in next. We're going to leave all this stuff loose so we can adjust it as we go.
Sure. Don't forget the clamps though. That's a big thing.
Don't forget the clamps
before you put everything on, because that can be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, definitely. And we want to make sure they go the same direction too. Yeah. I'm kind of crazy like that.
Okay. So next step is going to be the muffler. Is this a directional muffler, or which way should we put it on?
This muffler is not directional. You can look in it and see it's kind of a spiral shape, but it actually goes either way. So there's no actual direction for this type of muffler. If there is a direction on the muffler, we usually note it in the instructions.
Okay, cool. Well, that makes it easier. So that'll just slip on. Clamp will slide over, and then hopefully that ball seal can hold it. We're going to reinstall this bracket here that holds on the hanger rod for the new MBRP piece by using two 13mm bolts that we pulled off earlier. Now we're going to set this mid-pipe and we'll slide that into the hanger there at the same time putting it into the muffler. So off camera there, well on camera, Jesse just whispered that this actually tucks up top. So this is even more of a higher clearance exhaust than I was expecting. you can see you're not going to hit anything. The whole frame rail completely covers the exhaust here, so that's a pretty cool design, to be honest.
That's correct. Yeah, we don't really want it to be an obstacle for anything. I mean, if you hit the exhaust, chances are you've high centered on a big rock or something.
Yeah, and you're going to hit the frame rail away. If you're hitting this, you're in
trouble.
Some sticky situation. So that looks good. We got all the clamps on. Nothing's tightened yet, too. That's a really important thing. So I guess we can start moving on to the section that goes over the axle mix.
That's correct, yeah.
First, what I'm going to do is make sure to slide a clamp over here, and then Jesse, you've got the over axle section.
That's correct, yeah. We're actually reusing this factory hanger here. We didn't even take it off, during the disassembly of the factory stuff, and we'll slide it in this way and go over here.
Cool.
Be sure to hit it on everything upon approach.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
This is why we don't tighten. This is why we don't tighten anything either. That way we can kind of rotate the exhaust freely, see where it needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important not to tighten the ball seal clamp up front because it makes it a pain.
And make it super tight too.
Yeah. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is actually gonna slide one of our provided clamps up here. And then we're gonna snake this tailpipe section up here and connect to that mid-pipe section we just installed a second ago.
Now the last step is going to be this hanger here. Now what you're going to do is actually push this onto the post, and then we're going to reinstall both of the bolts that we removed earlier. Now what's the last step here, Jesse?
We're actually just going to go back, start from the front, kind of tighten everything up, make sure we're not making any interference with the frame or the chassis anywhere.
Cool.
And after that, we're done.
Start it up and see how it sounds then.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Okay guys, so the first thing up here is going to be your ball seal. That's going to take a 13mm socket to get it tightened down. We've already got it kind of snugged up. We'll start with that, and then all the clamps MBRP provides are going to be a 15mm. So Jesse, you mentioned all these are AccuSeal clamps, which are a really good brand and not going to wear out or let any leaks through there.
That's correct. These are all stainless, just like the tubing and the muffler. Also 300 grade stainless, so they're impervious to corrosion and stuff. So if you need to take this thing off, to do a suspension, later on at a later date or whatever, you don't have to worry about these things seizing up on you.
Cool. That's good to know. So let's go through and we'll start with the seal up front. Now time to tighten down the 15mm. And then we'll get this last one tightened up above the axle. After you have all the clamps tightened, we're going to take it out on the road and see how it sounds. All right, Jesse, well, we just wrapped up the installation of the MBRP exhaust, and I gotta say it was super simple. Like, that was probably one of the easiest exhausts, and I haven't done any on the Gladiator yet. What are some of the key advantages of that single exit high tuck exhaust?
I mean, really, it's just meant for the guy who really has the trail as kind of like his main purpose of the exhaust, right? The factory exhaust has several points that will get, kind of high-centered, snagged on things. This particular kit, it hangs below nothing, right? Like, if you hit the exhaust, you've definitely hurt the truck at some point. So that's really the purpose of it. I mean, we offer other types of systems, but this is really the one for the guy with the trail in mind.
Gotcha. So with the Gladiator, they are you can get high centered really quickly because it's such a long wheelbase. One of the things I noticed with the stock is you have like 2 or 3 different mufflers and resonators on there, and with this you have one simple muffler, which gives it that deeper tone, plus it gets it up and out of the way. Can you speak to some of the advantages of like the 304 stainless and how long that's going to last as well?
Yeah, so this is our Pro Series kit, which is 304 stainless. That's the best material grade that we offer, and it's a lifetime warranty, kind of a no hassle lifetime warranty. So I mean, if it gets it basically rust through or anything like that, which it's not going to, but if it did, or if there's any sort of corrosion, we'll cover that. So.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, you just heard how it sounds. What do you think of how it sounds too?
I think it sounds good.
It kind of had a little backfire too when we were going in second. Like that was pretty cool. It was an aggressive tone, but inside the cab it wasn't crazy loud. I think it was mild inside there and then just aggressive on the outside, a lot more than the factory was.
That's correct, yeah.
But Jesse, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that video. To stay up to date on our CJ Off-Road videos, make sure to subscribe up top here. And for any other installs, make sure to click the link right above.